That's a relief. Mark will join you at 1 o'clock. Meantime, the government may have to write off millions of pounds of money paid out to people with Help to Buy loans. They were for homes in apartment blocks with flammable cladding. One owner has successfully managed to get most of her Help to Buy loan written off. Her neighbours are now trying to do the same. Campaigners say the bill for the taxpayer could be enormous. Well, our reporter Melanie Abbott has been following this. Mel, tell us about the person who's successfully negotiated with Help to Buy.
Yes, she lives at New Capitol Quay in Greenwich in London. In February, I reported on the row between the developers Galliard and the National House Building Council, or the NHBC, over who should pay to replace the Grenfell-style cladding on the 1,000 homes there. They're still arguing. The cladding's still there with a 24-hour fire watch in place. And meanwhile, people's homes are dropping catastrophically in value. Cecile Langevin bought her flat with the help of a Help to Buy loan for £475,000 4 years ago. And it's just been valued now at £50,000. Help to Buy loans can be redeemed based on the current value of the home rather than the original sale price. So that means Cecile and her husband owe just £10,000 instead of the £95,000 originally borrowed. But she told me she doesn't see this as a success.
It's more of a mitigation of the terrible situation we are in. It just means that the loss on our flat is less important, but the value of our flat is, almost zero. And we are still in a position of not being able to sell.
Since you bought your flat, your family has expanded. You've just had your second child. What are your plans if you feel you are growing out of your home?
I'm honestly trying not to think about it. I don't believe an easy solution is going to be found. So I think, it will take legal actions to get the cladding replaced and get either the developer or the insurance to pay for it. So we're talking about years of lawsuits to get the situation sorted. And in the meantime, we are stuck in the flat, and the second bedroom is 7 square meters. Which means that right now we have a cot bed and a wardrobe in the bedroom, and there's absolutely no space to put another bed. We could rent the flat, but first of all, we'd have to find a tenant that agrees to move in a building with a big fire risk. It wouldn't be an easy solution for sure.
And she also told me that morally it would be difficult for her to rent out the flat, knowing the cladding could be a fire risk.
So, Mel, what about other people in a similar position?
There are lots of them. I was at a meeting last night of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Leasehold Reform, and another resident of that Greenwich development told the meeting that they're living in fear of a fire and in fear of their asset disappearing. Nigel Pickford, who bought his flat outright, spoke to me after the meeting.
I, like many people, would face bankruptcy if this situation is not resolved. I mean, it's absolutely appalling. These flats are now worth 10% of what they were when we bought them. 10%. And I find it horrifying. All my lifetime savings are in my flat. I don't like to really think too hard about that scenario. This is a serious problem. It's causing huge distress for 2,000 residents. Many of them are disabled, they've got small children, they're old. They will not be able to get out in a hurry if there's a fire, and we've moved on to an immediate evacuation policy. Everyone lives in fear of this, this terrifying image of the burnt-out carcass of Grenfell Tower. It haunts all our dreams. You'd think these people could just get round a table and sort this out.
Your neighbour has now managed to get part of her Help to Buy loan basically written off. What do you think the implications of that could be?
Well, I'm very pleased for Cecile that she can do that, but on our development alone, there's probably nearly 100 Help to Buy people. You're looking at £10 million of taxpayers' money. £10 million of taxpayers' money straight down the drain. If the government had insisted that developers sorted this straight away, the government wouldn't have lost £10 million. It's just crazy. Absolutely mad.
What do the developers Galliard say about this?
They've questioned the valuation done on Cecile's flat and point out that the NHBC provides the insurance for these flats in the form of a new building warranty. The NHBC, for their part, say they're working to establish if the development complied with the building regulations in place when it was built. They've also sent an independent expert, or they are sending an independent expert to visit the development to try to make an assessment of what they describe as a complex claim as quickly as possible. They say they've been in communication with the managing agents since last September. Galliard reckons the work will cost between £7 and £10 million. There was some good news last night, Peter. People living at a block in Croydon in South London, which we have reported on when they went to a tribunal to try to get their management company to pay for replacing their dangerous cladding. They lost that case, but now the original builder, Barratt, has agreed to pay the £2 million bill.
Mel, thank you very much indeed.